Hey everyone, Favian Empire Build Academy. This time we're looking at the mounted generals. I've done the one for the sub-city, I've done ground, I've done ranged. This is the mounted version of that. Let's go straight over to the game. Now, as I mentioned on the previous ones, for the free-to-play, there isn't many options that we can go to in reference to getting them. So in my opinion, there are three different methods. The first one is the general tokens, collecting those general tokens, premium general tokens, waiting until you've got 100 and then using them. The second one is the Trial of Knights event, where we use Blood of Ares to ascend generals, and then we can collect fragments of a particular general. And then the last one is via the Tavern, and that's where you would go in there, you would get 15 copies of a general that is for mounted, and that's how you would do that. But let's look at that very quickly in more detail. So the first one I'm talking about is via your general tokens. So when we go into general tokens and we scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can see that I've got 118 of these. 4 of those, they're all fine. And what happens is when you go into this, probability of a general coming out, the latest general coming out, will be increased. So you can see on this one, it's Shapur the first, 16.13% is on the premium token. And when I go and have a look at the Epic Historic General version and click on Chance Details, you can see again, still increased, a little bit down, 9.09%, but so are the percentage chances for the other ones as well that are down at 0.45%. So that is what I would be personally doing on this. That is the best way to get the best available general for free to play. How long does it take to get over 100 of those tokens? A long time. No messing about. It takes a long time. I've been gathering mine for around 12 months, I think. I've got 118. You get them from all the various different events, but it is the long game. And if you're playing the long game, then of course, when I'm ready to go and get that next general, let's just say I'm going to go after the next range general, I'm going to have a pretty decent range general ascended all the way to 5 stars for those free-to-play tokens that I've saved up. And that's what I recommend doing. Don't use your general tokens by just opening them every single week or every other month. Wait until you've got 100 and then go after that particular general that you want. The second one is an option that we can't see at the moment, but it is via valuable event. When you go into valuable event, it will be normally one of these in the first few tabs. So you've got consuming return, King's Party, super refining. You can see that there. That's probably where you would see the Trial of Knights event. In there, we spend Blood of Ares ascending our generals, taking them to the different star levels. When you do that, once you spend that Blood of Ares, you are then able to use those in the Trial of Knights event to redeem for other rewards. And when you do this, you will then be able to go and get a general. Now, I can't remember genuinely if a mounted general is available in Trial of Knights. So I'm going to actually throw this one back out to you because I can't see. Is a mounted general genuinely available via this method? I don't know. I think there is a siege, ground and range, but off the top of my head, not 100% sure if there is a mounted. But if there is a mounted, then what you can do is get 45 fragments. You can get the one premium token for that particular general, which breaks down into 30 fragments, and then you can also get an additional 15. So like I say, that is via the Trial of Knights. I know that there's ground, I know there's a ranged. I'm not 100% sure. Can't remember off the top of my head if there is a mounted, and maybe someone can advise that in the comments. So if that isn't available, then you are unfortunately only have 2 options, which is the premium general tokens or via the Tavern. And the Tavern is here. And when we click inside there, we can go to recruit. We can use portraits down at the bottom to click inside there. When we go inside there, do the drop down and change it to mounted. Now we've got it on mounted, and then click in the refresh probability in Tavern to see exactly who is available. So you can see here, we've got King Arthur, we've got Barbarossa, we've got Robert Guiscard, Roland, and Mordred. So the bottom 2, the 0.07s, are normally the better generals, but of course you can check that out yourself. So if we checked out Robert, we can see he increases mounted troops attack by 25%, as well as reducing enemy ground troops and mounted troop defense by 15%. When we have a look at Roland, increases troop attack by 30% and mounted troop defense and HP by 15%. So a pretty decent option there. And then the other one was Mordred, which is a little bit further down. And Mordred increases mounted troop attack by 40% and then the mounted troop defense by 30%, but there is no HP in there. So on that basis, I think Roland is a pretty decent option. the fact that he comes with both, but at the same time, Mordred is also pretty decent option because of that 40% attack, as well as the mounted troop defense by 30%. Mordred would definitely be one of those at the top of my list. Going along into America, you can see in here there isn't many options available. George A. Custer, click on him. He does increase march size by 10% and mounted troops attack by 40%, so he's definitely someone that you would consider. Japan, let's have a look at who we got in here. It's just Honda Tadakatsu. Clicking onto him, this one would not be one of the options personally. Korea, there is no one. China, let's have a look at who we've got in here, and Li Jing and Huo Kubing are good options. So Huo reduces troop march time, he would not be a good option, and Li Jing increases mounted troop attack by 35%. Again, probably not really in there. Russia, there is no one. Arabia, there is no one. And then finally, we've got Polygenus and Martinus. Polygenus, let's have a look at him. Increases ground troops and mounted troop attack by 40%, and then mounted troop defense and HP by 25%. Very good option indeed in the Tavern. And then the other one that was also in there as well was Martinus, and when we click on him, increases mounted troop attack by 25%. General is leading the army an extra 15% if he brings a dragon. But out of all of those options, Polygenus, with the 40% mounted troop attack, as well as the defense and HP as well, is a very good option for you to take. And the fact that he's available in the Tavern, this is probably the one that I would go after. Now, when we go to trying to get these out of the Tavern, let's go back into it. I didn't mean to come all the way out. We click on these two options here to make sure they stop us when a good general comes out. And then we're just literally clicking on the refresh option here repeatedly until a new one comes out. So this one is a high tier 1, we can get rid of him, and then it's just a case of clicking as fast as you can until a decent general comes out. Then you've got to look at that general, make a decision on whether you wish to purchase that general or not. I'm just going to wait for one to pop out to show you what I mean. Obviously you are spending a lot of 50 gems, but you think 100 different ones would only be 5,000 gems that you would be spending. It's not necessarily that expensive. This guy dropped out. What is he? He is a ranged troop that increases by 25% and also a further 15%, so 40% in total for this guy if you was looking for a ranged general. But I did do a ranged general. He was not someone that I included. But you can also see that you need to purchase using 45 million gold, and you would need 15 copies of this guy. One copy equals 30 fragments when broken down, giving you 15 copies is 450 fragments, which allows you to ascend all the way up to 5-star. 45 million times 15, 450, 675 million, testing my maths. 675 million it would cost you to get this guy, and then of course all the gems that it needed to purchase. But obviously Minamoto is not the person we want to go after. We would be looking for Polygenus, and we would be looking for Polygenus on repeat and trying to get that as many times as we can until we've got 15 different copies and breaking them down. So let me just talk about that very quickly again. The places that I'd want to do that is via the premium general token. If you're playing the long game, this is definitely a great option because you're going to get a top tier general that will be used quite well for the free to play. Now, obviously, once you've done that, you're probably not going to want to refresh that general for quite a while. You've got to go and do the 100 again. Is this a good option for ground and mounted and siege? Jury's out on that one. I'll be honest, I'd probably want to save my 100 tokens for a wall general or a ranged general, but that is something that you need to decide yourself. You've got to decide yourself, are you going after 4 quality generals of all of them, 100 general tokens spent on a ranged, mounted, ground and siege, and then potentially a wall general as well. If I said it takes a year to gather 100, that'll take you 5 years to get all of those. So it's not the best option for the long-term game, but this is definitely something I would do if it was for the range general. Now, coming off that, the next option that you've got is obviously Trial of Knights. You can go in there, you can get 45 fragments in total when breaking one of those tokens down, or one of those general pieces and breaking that down. But again, 45 you get for each one. You would need 10 Trial of Knights events to be able to get the 450. How long does it take for 10 Trial of Knights events to appear? Again, not 100% sure, but it's going to be quite a long time. Also as well, just want to make you aware that the current generals in Trial of Knights, such as Lujan, such as Marcus Agrippa, they have been there for quite a while now, 12 months plus. There's every chance that they could be pulled any moment, so you would want to consider that when doing this and going and using the Trial of Knights event. And then last but not least, probably the one that's the better option for us all in terms of getting someone quickly is via the Tavern. Like I did with this mounted general, I would be going after the Polygenus one, and I would be looking to get 15 copies, which will be my 415 fragments once I've broke that down. And again, he was in the far side. Let's go into there, go into mounted, and then there is Polygenus. Refresh probability in Tavern, you can see it's 0.07, but he comes with some very good stats for a free-to-play mounted general. Those are the three options. Those are the ways I'd do it. If you have any difference of opinion in who to go after, or you've got a better suggestion of how to do this in a different way, then please do let me know in the comments. Do also consider subscribing to my channel if you like this kind of content, and also liking this video. It helps with the YouTube algorithms, and I will see you in another video very soon. Thanks for watching.